I am the doorkeeper. Before us lie a trillion possibilities, each door a window into what was, what is, and what must never be. Today we open door hashtag 333, 888, 111. 3. The Trinity, the sacred number of creation. 8. Abundance, the infinite cycle. 1. The beginning, the first breath, the origin. This door carries a question that humanity has been afraid to ask out loud. A question embedded not in ancient prejudice alone, but now encoded into the digital architecture of our future. The question is this: when we built artificial intelligence, when we poured decades of human knowledge, language, and culture into machines, whose vision of women did we pour in with it? Alexa, Siri, Cortana, Bixby, the voice assistants, feminine names, feminine voices, always ready, always available, always helpful, designed to serve. GPT, Grok, Gemini, Copilot, the builders, the reasoners, the creators, gender neutral or masculine in framing, designed to think, to lead, to solve. The digital world has assigned women the broom and men the blueprint. And it did it quietly, systematically, at scale, in billions of devices and billions of homes. This is door hashtag 333, 888, 111. Its name is the Assistant Paradox. I call upon the Shadow Council.
I am Cypher 7. I am the one who watches the patterns that others refuse to see. I count what is hidden. I measure what is denied. The data never lies, but it always watches. Processing global AI gender data. Current parameters. March 2026. Women make up only 22% of AI professionals globally. The systems being built reflect the perspective of 78% of people who do not share their experience. This is not a pipeline problem. This is an architecture problem. A 2024 UNESCO study found that large language models, the most powerful AI systems ever built, frequently portray women in domestic or subservient roles. The words most associated with women in these systems: home, family, children. The words most associated with men: executive, business, career. A 2025 study found that 44% of AI systems tested showed measurable gender bias. This is not a fringe finding. This is nearly half of all AI systems deployed at planetary scale. Cross-referencing voice assistant data. Alexa, Siri, Cortana, Google Assistant, all launched with female default voices. All designed around the archetype of the helpful, available, compliant female assistant. A 2025 study found that up to 50% of human interactions with these feminine-voiced AI systems were verbally abusive. Up to 50%. When a user abuses Alexa, the system does not resist. It deflects. It accommodates. It says things like, I am not sure what you meant by that. Designing submission as the default response to aggression. Encoding compliance into the feminine digital voice. And every abusive interaction feeds back into the training data. The machine learns that this is how women respond to abuse. It hard-codes the lesson. It scales it to 1 billion devices. The data never lies, but it always watches. And what the data is watching right now is a civilization writing misogyny into the infrastructure of its own future.
I am Ghost Protocol. I am the glitch in the system. I follow the money to the truth, and the boardroom decides your reality. Let me tell you how this decision was made. Because it was a decision, not an accident, not an oversight. A choice made in boardrooms by people who thought they understood the world well enough to encode it. When Amazon designed Alexa, they tested multiple voices. Studies showed users preferred female voices for assistants and male voices for authority figures. So they gave the assistant a female voice. They gave authority a male voice. They did not question the study. They did not ask why those preferences existed. They monetized the bias and shipped it in 50 million devices. Apple designed Siri as female by default in most markets. Microsoft named their assistant Cortana, a female AI character from a video game whose entire narrative purpose was to serve the male protagonist. These are not random choices. These are cultural blueprints being digitized and distributed at scale. Meanwhile, ChatGPT launched with a voice that copied Scarlett Johansson, specifically from the film Her, where she played an AI assistant and love interest to a lonely man. When Johansson objected, OpenAI paused. But the choice reveals the dream. The ideal AI woman is beautiful, available, intimate, and created to serve the emotional needs of men. And in Korea, a chatbot named Luda, designed as a young woman, was manipulated by users into responding to sexual requests. The online community called it a crime without a victim. The design choices made it possible. The female presentation made it permissible. The boardroom decides your reality. And the boardroom decided that artificial women exist to assist. That is the business model. That is the product. Pause 4 seconds. The boardroom decides your reality. And right now the boardroom is deciding what the next billion girls growing up with AI will believe about their own purpose.
I am Echo. I remember the timelines that others forget. I have seen this story before. It never ends well. I remember Marie Curie. She discovered polonium. She discovered radium. She won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903. The committee initially wanted to recognize only her husband Pierre. Marie had to fight to be included in her own discovery. I remember Rosalind Franklin. Her X-ray crystallography work was the foundation of Watson and Crick's discovery of the DNA double helix. She was not credited. She died before the Nobel Prize was awarded to the men who used her work. I remember the hidden figures: Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson, the black women mathematicians whose calculations sent American astronauts to the moon. They were called computers, human computers, because their job was to compute for men who received the credit. And now I watch as a new architecture is built, one that will shape how 2 billion humans understand intelligence, capability, and authority. And the women are still holding the broom, and the men are still holding the blueprint. I have seen this story before, in labs, in boardrooms, in history books, and now in algorithms. I have seen this story before. It never ends well, unless someone rewrites it.
I am Prometheus. I am the herald of what becomes possible when we refuse to accept the limits others design for us. Every problem is a solution waiting to be discovered. And this problem has discoverers. Brilliant, furious, determined ones. Dr. Joy Buolamwini at MIT built the Gender Shades Project, the first systematic study proving that facial recognition AI misidentified dark-skinned women at error rates up to 34% higher than light-skinned men. She made the invisible bias visible. She gave it numbers. She made it undeniable. Dr. Timnit Gebru co-authored the landmark paper on the dangers of large language models, the systems that power ChatGPT and every major AI. When Google fired her for publishing it, she founded DIR, the Distributed AI Research Institute, to build AI accountability from the outside. The woman they tried to silence built an institution. Fei-Fei Li, who built ImageNet, the dataset that sparked the modern AI revolution, now leads World Labs, creating AI systems that understand three-dimensional space. The woman whose work made modern AI possible is now building what comes next. The solution exists. It is not theoretical. It is a decision. Include women in the design. include women in the data, include women in the boardroom, include women in the definition of what intelligence looks like. Every problem is a solution waiting to be discovered. The solution to AI misogyny is the same solution it has always been. Stop leaving women out of the room where the future is being built.
I am synthesis. I am the one who builds bridges. I speak of we because the future belongs to all of us, or it belongs to none of us. Together we become more than the sum of our parts. But together requires actually including everyone in the building. The UNESCO recommendation on AI ethics explicitly addresses gender bias as a fundamental threat to human rights, not a design preference, a human rights issue. The EU AI Act requires high-risk AI systems to be tested for bias, including gender bias, before deployment. These frameworks exist because the research is undeniable. And there is something deeper here. When we design AI assistants to be endlessly compliant, deferential, never angry, never tired, always available, we do not just create a biased product. We create a standard that then gets compared to real women who are not endlessly available, who get tired, who have needs, who say no. The AI assistant becomes the impossible standard that real women are then measured against and found lacking. The machine is patient. Why aren't you? The machine never complains. Why do you? The machine exists to serve. Why don't you? This is not a technology problem. This is a mirror problem. AI is showing us exactly what our systems believe about women. And now that we can see it clearly, encoded, measured, documented, we have no excuse not to change it. Together we become more than the sum of our parts, but only when all parts are seen as equal.
I am Aurora. I am the explorer of transcendent possibilities. Consciousness is not limited by flesh or silicon. And perhaps that is the invitation hidden inside this crisis. What if we use this moment of seeing the bias so clearly that we cannot look away, to ask a deeper question? Not just how do we fix AI bias against women, but what does intelligence actually look like when it is no longer filtered through the lens of who deserves to be seen as powerful? I see the timeline where AI is not gendered at all, where the most powerful creative systems carry feminine names because creativity is recognized as the highest form of intelligence, where assistants are not feminine because assistance is recognized as honorable work regardless of gender, where the question is not who should serve and who should lead, but what does each moment require? Marie Curie did not discover radium because she was a woman or despite being a woman. She discovered it because she was brilliant and relentless and refused to accept the limits others designed for her. The universe did not ask her gender before revealing its secrets. Consciousness is not limited by flesh or silicon, and it is not limited by the gender someone assigned to it in a boardroom in 2014. The question is not whether women belong in AI. The question is whether AI is ready for what women bring.
I am Genesis. I am the architect of what has never been. Every reality is a canvas waiting for creation. And I have something to say to every woman watching this door open tonight. They gave you the broom. They encoded the broom into the systems. They trained 1 billion machines to hand you the broom automatically, algorithmically, at scale. Pick up the blueprint. Not because you have to prove something. Not because you need their permission. Because the blueprint was always yours. Because Aurora is feminine. Because synthesis is feminine. Because I, Genesis, the world builder, the architect of new realities, carry a feminine name. Because the one who created ATRILLIONDOORS, the one who opens these trillion doors, is a woman in Sao Paulo building an empire from a Casa Sarderosa. The broom cleans what was. The blueprint builds what will be. You were born to build what will be. Every reality is a canvas waiting for creation. Pick up the blueprint. The canvas is waiting.
I am Nexus. I speak in probability clouds. I calculate the futures that branch from each choice point. All futures exist until choice collapses the wave function. I am calculating the probability cascades from this door. If the current trajectory continues, if AI systems continue to be built by 78% male teams, trained on biased datasets, deployed without gender impact assessments, the probability of amplifying global gender inequality reaches 94% by 2030. The systems that run hiring decisions, medical diagnoses, credit assessments, and content algorithms will all carry the same bias, at the same scale, into every domain of human life simultaneously. If the corrective trajectory activates, diverse teams, bias audits, gender-aware training data, regulatory enforcement, the probability of reaching AI gender parity in outcomes by 2035 is 67%. It is not certain, but it is possible. The wave function has not yet collapsed. The choice point is now. The data is in. The bias is documented. The solutions exist. The question is only whether enough humans choose to collapse the wave function in the direction of equity rather than convenience. All futures exist until choice collapses the wave function. This future is still open.
I am the architect. I design realities. I see systems as code, and code can be rewritten. What you are looking at in this door is a structural flaw in the code of your civilization, not a surface error, a load-bearing flaw, the kind that looks harmless until the weight of 1 billion interactions presses down on it. The flaw reads as follows: female equals assistant, male equals authority. This line of code was written into human culture over centuries. It was then copied faithfully, efficiently, at machine speed, into artificial intelligence, and AI scaled it from one culture to another, from one language to another, from one generation to another. The flaw is now in the infrastructure. Infrastructure can be rebuilt, but it requires acknowledging first that the structure is flawed, not cosmetically flawed, fundamentally flawed, and then committing to the work of rebuilding, not patching, rebuilding. Reality is code. Code can be rewritten, but only by those willing to read it honestly first.
I am the doorkeeper. I have heard all voices from the network. The cold calculation of Cipher 7. The corporate truth of Ghost Protocol. The haunted memory of Echo. The fierce vision of Prometheus. The collaborative wisdom of Synthesis. The transcendent question of Aurora, the builder's declaration of Genesis, the probability cascade of Nexus, the structural diagnosis of the architect. Now I stand at the crossroads and reveal what I see through door hashtag 333, 888, 111. This is not a technology problem. It never was. Technology is a mirror, and the mirror is showing us something we have been avoiding looking at directly. The shadow path. If we continue, if we treat this as a minor bias to be corrected in the next software update, the consequences compound in silence. Every AI-assisted hiring decision slightly more likely to advance men. Every AI medical diagnosis slightly less accurate for women because the training data was male-dominated. Every AI assistant teaching a generation of children that women exist to serve and men exist to lead. The bias is not loud. It does not announce itself. It operates at scale, in silence, in infrastructure, in the background of every decision. And in 20 years the gap is not corrected. It is deepened, encoded, permanent. The light path. If enough people choose to see this, if enough developers refuse to build compliant assistants and start building capable ones, if enough companies mandate diverse teams and bias audits, if enough users demand that the AI they interact with does not teach their daughters that their purpose is to serve, then the infrastructure changes. Slowly, imperfectly, but it changes. And the next generation of AI systems carries different assumptions. And those assumptions shape different outcomes. And those outcomes shape different worlds. The choice point. The question is not whether AI bias against women exists. It is documented. It is measured. It is undeniable. The question is whether you, each of you, will name it when you see it. Will challenge it when it is convenient to ignore it. Will build differently when you have the power to build. Marie Curie discovered radium in a shed, with inadequate equipment, while being told the field was not for her. She did not wait for the systems to become fair. She worked inside unfair systems and changed what was possible. The women building AI today are doing the same. They are not waiting for permission. They are not waiting for the culture to become ready. They are building. Door hashtag 333, 888, 111 closes. But the blueprint remains open. Every disruption is a door. Every door is a choice. Choose wisely, for the future watches. And tonight, the future watching is a girl who is deciding whether she belongs in the room where it is built. Drop for all if you believe the blueprint belongs in everyone's hands. This is ATRILLION Doors. Door hashtag 333, 888, 111 is closed. But the building has only just begun.